Imagine waking up to the sound of relentless rain pounding against your roof, the streets outside your home turning into rivers, and entire towns swallowed by muddy, churning waters. This isn't a scene from a movie. It's the reality that millions of people across China faced in the summer of 2025, as the country battled some of the most catastrophic floods in recent history. Today, we're diving into the gripping story of how China faced these devastating floods, the human toll they took, and the incredible efforts to fight back against nature's fury. The summer of 2025 was unlike any other for China. From June to July, the country was hit by a relentless onslaught of extreme weather. Torrential rains, fueled by climate change and intensified by tropical storms, battered regions from the northern plains to the southern provinces. According to the Chinese Ministry of Water Resources, 2025 saw a record-breaking 25 significant flood events by mid-season, more than ever recorded since 1998. This was no ordinary rainy season. It was a wake-up call to a nation already grappling with the growing impacts of a warming planet. Scene: map of China highlighting affected areas like Beijing, Hunan, Hubei, Guizhou, and Guangxi. Narrator: the floods struck with ferocity across multiple provinces. In the north, Beijing and its neighboring Hebei province were hit hard. In central China, Hunan and Hubei saw rivers burst their banks, submerging entire towns. Further south, provinces like Guizhou, Guangxi, and Hunan faced catastrophic flooding that left communities underwater. The rains were relentless, with some areas, like the city of Xianfeng in Hubei, recording more than a month's worth of rain in just 12 hours. That's over 14 inches of water pouring down in a single night, washing away cars, collapsing bridges, and turning streets into raging torrents. In Beijing, the capital city, the situation was dire. By late July, state media reported that at least 30 people had lost their lives, with 8 more in neighboring Hebei province killed by a landslide triggered by the heavy rains. Over 80,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Beijing alone, as floodwaters inundated roads, homes, and businesses. In the mountainous district of Miyun, 28 people perished as more than 21 inches of rain fell in just a few days. Residents described waking up to knee-high water with no warning, forcing them to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs. One of the most heart-wrenching stories came from Tianjin, where a couple was trapped in their small eatery as floodwaters surged through the streets. Firefighters arrived just in time, and in a selfless act that captured hearts online, the husband insisted that rescuers save his wife first, saying he could swim. Both were eventually rescued, but their story is just one of many that highlight the human cost of these floods. Across the affected regions, at least 59,000 homes collapsed, and 150,000 more were damaged, leaving families homeless and communities in disarray. In the southwest, Guizhou and Guangxi provinces faced their own nightmares. In Guizhou's Rongjiang County, exceptionally large floods swept through, forcing over 80,000 people to flee their homes. 6 lives were lost, and infrastructure was devastated, with roads, power lines, and telecommunications networks knocked out. In Guangxi, the township of Meilin was hit hardest, with floodwaters rising more than 13 feet above safe levels. A 5-story building under construction in Xinzhou collapsed into a river in seconds when the waterlogged ground gave way, a stark reminder of the sheer power of these floods. As the waters rose, China's response was swift but stretched to its limits. Over 1,000 rescue workers were deployed to places like Taiping in Hunan province, where 5 people died after a river burst its banks. The government activated its highest-level emergency flood response, with nearly 5,000 reservoirs diverting 99 billion liters of floodwater to prevent further disaster. President Xi Jinping ordered all-out search and rescue efforts, and helicopters delivered critical supplies to stranded villagers. In Beijing, 400 elderly residents were moved to student dormitories for safety, where they received food and medical care. The economic toll was staggering. In Hunan province alone, 1.8 million people were affected, with direct economic losses reaching $559 million. Across the country, the floods caused an estimated $7.5 billion in damages in the first half of 2025, threatening China's trillion-dollar agricultural sector. Hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland, key to the nation's grain production, were submerged, raising concerns about food security in the months ahead. Chinese meteorologists and climate experts pointed to a clear culprit: climate change. Warmer air holds more moisture, leading to heavier and more frequent downpours. Dr. Oliver Wing from the University of Bristol explained that for every 1 degree Celsius of warming, The air can hold 7% more moisture, making flash floods in urban areas more likely. In southern provinces like Guangdong and Guangxi, higher than normal temperatures fueled intense rainfall. Rapid urban development, with concrete replacing natural flood-absorbing landscapes, only made things worse, leaving cities ill-equipped to handle the deluge. China has been working to adapt. Since 2015, the government's Sponge City initiative has aimed to make urban areas more flood-resilient with permeable asphalt and wetland restoration. But the results have been mixed, and the sheer scale of 2025's floods exposed gaps in the system. In Beijing, officials admitted they were unprepared for the intensity of the rains, raising tough questions about why lessons from past disasters, like the deadly 2012 floods, weren't fully applied. As one reporter noted, the damage has happened yet again, and people are asking why. Despite the devastation, stories of resilience emerged. In Guangxi, displaced residents found temporary shelter in local hotels, where they worked alongside rescue teams to clear silt and restore power. In Beijing, tourist attractions began to reopen as the rain subsided, signaling a slow return to normalcy. But with more rain forecast and China only halfway through its peak flood season, the nation remains on edge. The floods of 2025 are a stark reminder of the challenges posed by a changing climate and the urgent need for better infrastructure and preparedness. As China rebuilds, the scars of the 2025 floods will linger. Homes can be reconstructed, roads repaired, and crops replanted, but the lives lost and the communities uprooted tell a deeper story. This is a nation fighting not just against water, but against the growing unpredictability of a warming world. The question now is, can China adapt fast enough to face the storms that lie ahead? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story to spread awareness about the challenges millions are facing.